What's up guys, I'm Dr. Matt Rice and I'm going to cover the Kettlebell Windmill. So, first thing, the purpose of doing the windmill is basically, it is a loaded stretch and a strengthening exercise. So the setup position is basically going to be with the feet about hip or shoulder width apart. Obviously initiating with a press or a kettlebell snatch to get in that overhead position. From there we're going to rotate both feet about 45 degrees away from the side of the bell, and then we're going to shift the hip and pelvis towards that side, keeping the back leg long and straight and the lead leg slightly bent, or as they call soft. From there, we're basically going to be continuing to look up at the bell and making sure to keep our weight distributed mainly on the rear leg. So as we slowly lower down towards the ground, there's a couple things that we want to make sure of. One, you're going to make sure that we're continuing to look straight up at the bell. Two, you want to make sure that the arm and shoulder is staying in external rotation, meaning as we go down, we don't want to see the bell rotating inward. As far as your weight, we want to make sure that the weight stays predominantly on the rear leg, so that as you go down, we don't want to see this kind of shift where we're putting more weight on the lead leg. In addition to that, you want to also be aware of where the movement is coming from. So like we mentioned, the purpose of the windmill is a loaded stretch. The stretch is primarily supposed to come from the posterior chain. So piriformis, your glute muscles, the deep hip rotators, a little bit of the hamstring. It's not to basically just showcase that you can touch the ground. It's not an exhibition. It's not to just show people how heavy you can go, how deep you can go into that movement. It's primarily just to work on improving flexibility in the hip, which means if my hip range of motion stops here, that's all I do. It makes no difference if you can go all the way and touch the floor if that range of motion is coming from spinal lateral flexion. So again, just to review, feet hip width apart, stiffen up the midsection, press overhead, rotate the feet away about 45 degrees. We do a shift, putting the majority of the weight on that back leg, soften the lead leg, looking up at the bell, slowly lower to the ground, pause, making sure that shoulder stays in external rotation. My weight should be predominantly on the back leg, making sure there's relatively no spinal lateral flexion. Come back up and repeat. Shift, straight, lengthened rear leg, soft lead leg, slowly hinge, pause, come back up, bring the bell down under control, and there you go, windmill.